Going to go to the board chair's report.
Okay,
Got to turn your mic on.
there's only a few things standing between you and the end of the day, of this part of your day. So, what I wanted to just, in my report, I just wanted to remind you and then bring up, I believe it's a week from today is Veterans Day. And just a little reminder that Veterans Day started after World War I, and it was all about a celebration of world peace. And then right after that, it evolved into recognition of current and former members of the armed forces. And it's a week from Thursday. And as a note, a little trivia, it's not a trivia, it's a fact. I've said this before, but I say it often just to remind people because they seem to forget some of the things that I say, but I think it's super relevant that, and I've known this because I've had to train and been involved in some things with the military, but for over 15 years, somewhere between, and the math is, it's always in here, it never gets over 50, but between 49 and 50%, I don't know how they do it, of our military, these are people, of our military strength is in the Guard and Reserves. So when you think about everything that happens and all of our protection and everything that people are deployed and et cetera, even our own Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones, 49 point something % of them are reserves, which means that what supports them, and we call it a three-legged stool, a milk stool. Not too many people have seen a milk stool and why and how it's designed. I won't get into that and bore you, but I happen to have one and I use it quite often, but I didn't bring it today. What supports them is there's three things: their family, the military branch, and their employer. And here in public education, we employ, and even in our own agency, these Guard and Reserve. Now, this isn't about Guard and Reserve, this is about Veterans Day, so I'm just circling back into that, but they're really important to us, and they have their special day coming up, so I'm asking you to pause a little bit as you're around in public education, or it doesn't even have to be public education, but it's nice to try to find them. They're very invisible. They don't wear it on their sleeves. They don't wear all of this stuff, but they are there and relevant. And when I was on a local board, when the first deployments were going to Iraq and that, I saw a lot of educators, teachers, classified employees, leadership from principals and that get off and shipped out. And it was tough. It was hard on their schools and hard on their families. But public education, I don't know of ever a challenge that public education has ever had supporting one of the reservists. So as you guys are thinking, and you get into next week and the Veterans Day, reflect a little bit who's in your neighborhood, and even if it's a stranger that's a veteran, if you just recognize them, they get used to thank you for your service, thank you for the service, but they're not used to how are you and just thanks. And then not too many of them shy away from, if you're buying them a drink, if you're in a restaurant or a dinner, or you think they are and they're behind you at McDonald's drive up or whatever. But I just challenge you to go the extra mile to recognize them and their service, and also their employers when you know they're part of it. And if they've got family and a spouse, they're also an important part of it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But they are relevant and they are a very important part of our community, and also part of our education system. So thank you for what you do. It was a good meeting. I didn't have the best of weeks, and this past week, just some a few challenges, not with me personally, and the vice chairs just stepped in and they said, we've got this handled, and they've done a good job, and staff, and I hope you have the opportunity now and again, and appreciate all the work. They want to serve this board, and there's 15 of us, and we all have a separate appetite. When we go to Subway, we don't all order the number one. You know, we're very, very unique, and I know I listen to them, and they have nothing but good things to say about you as individuals and also our education community. We all play a role. We've moved some good stuff forward today, and I know tomorrow in your committees, you're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and it will come before this body. So thank you for your service. That concludes my report.